Okay, we have this thing where the pendulum period's proportional to the square of the length. Period's 5 when the length is 2. What's a period when length is 6? Obviously, from the proportionality, we're going to want to use the x squared function, create a graph. So we use the x squared function. We create the shape of the graph, but we don't label the axes. But we use our basic numbers, 1/2, 1, 2, all that, with the x squared function. We draw the graph, and now we're going to label it by simply putting the point where the length is 2, the period is 5, on the graph. So we put it here, being careful to leave ourselves room to get the length 6 result. We don't want to put 2 out here because 6 would be here and the graph doesn't go there. Okay, so we do that, and then we use that to scale the graph. That's where the scale came from the fact that this point should be 2, 5. So when x is 2, y is 5, or when length is 2, period is 5. Now we go in multiples of 2 to get our lengths, and we go in multiples of 5. Well, we get 10, and then I go in multiples of 10 to scale this axis. And then we ask ourselves, okay, well, what's the period when the length is 6? According to the graph, we go up here and over, we find the period's about 40. Now, since it's a proportionality to the square of the length, we could have also reasoned it out if I hadn't specified use the shape of the graph, that the length went from 2 to 6, the length tripled. And the period's proportional to the square of the length. So if you square the tripling, you get square 3, you get 9. So the period should be 9 times this. 9 times 5 is 45. Our graph gave us 40. That's a pretty decent estimate. And a more carefully drawn graph might have come even closer. You got to be able to scale it uniformly, and there are all kinds of things that can go wrong. But if you do your best with it, you can get a reasonable estimate and gives you a visual picture of this proportionality and how things behave. Okay? And when you learn to interpret graphs, and something we'll be working on all semester, it's very valuable to be able to do that sort of thing.